is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good evening live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We're on 2nd Street. It's the place where you need to be each and every Tuesday for our coaches show. We've got 4 teams. We've got coaches and players to talk about and talk to about week number 8 coming up. Yeah, can you believe that in a 10-week regular season? It's already coming down to the finalization of kind of wrapping up the season. Can you make playoffs? Can you be in the top 4 of the 8 in your district? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about district standings. First and foremost, before we get to our special host here, Michelle, in a second, the big news is a lot of games have changed, and I know on social media, if you connect up to it, of the 13 schools on the network, we only have 5 that will be playing on Friday because everything is moved to Thursday. And so Eisenhower is the only one that we really don't know. They're trying to move that to a Thursday. Could be a Thursday 3 o'clock afternoon game because there's a conflict of where they're going to be hosted at up in Oklahoma City for Northwest Classen. But other than that, I mean, Carl Albert and Lawton High, that's Thursday night at Cameron. The big game between MacArthur and Newcastle, that's going to be at Newcastle on Thursday. So a lot of those games that you've paired up to really find out, and Cash, Elgin, they moved to Thursday, so we have a lot of that. Walters, I think, still stays the same on Friday. So it is Del City, Midwest City at this point. But stay with us socially connected so you can know if there's any kind of change. Reason being is Friday there's supposed to be a chance of thunderstorms and really severe weather. And if it's lightning, you know, with football, there's lightning delays. With district games, that can kind of cause a little bit of havoc as far as, you know, shutting down a game for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and how do you keep the players motivated and keep them loose. And so I think a lot of this has happened before. This is not unprecedented. We've seen these kind of moves before to move to a Thursday. So that's the big news from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, as we'll start off with our hostess with the most. I think, Michelle, we would appreciate you for your year. And I know you've got a lot of exciting things we talked about last weekend being Oktoberfest. And I was really curious when I came in through the door. You had holding a Stein competition. How long? So you got a winner for that and a pretzel eating contest. So how did the weekend go with Oktoberfest?
Oh, it was fun. We had a lot of people that showed up, and we had some really fun events. Like you said, the pretzel eating contest, what it was is just one of our large pretzels, who could eat it the fastest.
Yeah, okay.
And it took about 3.5 minutes for them
Wow.
to finish it. So, and that was Thomas Cunningham.
I've said this before. It's the largest pretzel I've ever seen. It's not like your standard pretzel when you go to like a mall or something else like that and get a small. This is a very large plattered pretzel, and I dare anybody to say they can find one bigger. But 3 minutes. Okay, what about the Stein holding contest?
The Stein holding contest went about 5 minutes, so they did a very good
Wow.
job. I mean, a lot of arms were shaking there. Our winner was Mike Vasquez. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And well, you know, you had a little bit of flavoring of the taste of Oktoberfest, and that's kind of what you were gearing up for. And how did the rest of the events and the day go?
Really good. I mean, we had a few other events that we did, you know, Pretzel Guess and a musical Stein Pass. That was kind of fun. So that everyone was able to play that one. But then we also had some German food specials. We did some brat specials, some German mac and cheese, and we still have some left over. So if you're interested in tasting any of our German fare, come on in. As soon as it's sold out, it'll be done.
Upon availability, so it's kind of rushing out. So you can come join us for that, and then don't forget the back patio, which always fills up. It's completely in shade right now this time of year, so there's no sun beating down on it. And it's, you know, you got the sofas. There's people already on the sofas out there in the lawn, and you've got Connect Four, you got Jenga, you've also got cornhole. It's just a lot outside as much as there is inside. Great barbecue, whether you like my favorite, which is the sausage, which has got a little bit of spice to it, and cheddar. It's all made in-house. Great barbecue. And then we've got Halloween coming up. It's not this weekend, the following weekend, you've got some festivities, so talk a little bit about that.
Exactly. So Friday night again, adult-themed, adult costume contest. We'll have some specialty drinks, things like that. And then Saturday, we're doing a trunk or treat on 2nd Street for kids, and then a kids costume contest as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. Okay,
so you come join us. You can come down tonight for our coaches show. You can come down at lunch or dinner, or make sure your Sunday, they got the NFL Sunday ticket, Monday Night Football. You got a lot of stuff that you can participate in here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery at 104 Southwest 2nd Street. Yeah, right downtown, close to where the mall is, a couple of blocks away from an old restored gas station, if you remember it, for all those old school Lawtonians to remember what this location is. So Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, we're going to talk football, we're going to talk our teams, and I kind of first come, first serve basis. So that's kind of how it works. First one through the door, we kind of put up first. So the MacArthur Highlanders are first through the door, and we will be talking about their big matchup with Newcastle right after this timeout. You're watching the Coaches Show live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Landmarks. They stand as symbols, reminding us of history and moments that shape our lives. We create our own landmarks. At Becker Raybon Funeral Home, we understand the importance of honoring these moments. Let our compassionate team help you celebrate the life and legacy of your loved one. Offering a range of services to honor the stories that matter most, we believe that every life leaves a mark that deserves to be cherished and remembered. Becker Raybon Funeral Home, honoring the landmarks of your life.
All right, where sports is our middle name. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network, and we are live at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. It is Tuesday Coaches Show, and we're so excited as the sun starts to set right through the glass. So we've got a little bit of shade and some sun kind of competing with us, and we got the MacArthur Highlanders going to be up first, and a very big game to talk about. But before we talk about that, we've got our running backs coach for the MacArthur Highlanders is Colby Spears, and let's kind of get a review of last week and breaking down film, what you liked. I know Midwest City is kind of down when we talked about in their standards. But what did you like and what did you see we can do move forward through this district?
I thought last week we played really well up front. We were really physical, come off the ball, and it showed. We had 416 yards rushing between all of our backs, and even Josh got in there and got a run play for a big gain. But I just thought we blocked really well up front. Midwest City's, even though they're down a little bit, they always got athletes. They're physical up front. They always tackle well, still. But these guys ran really hard and blocked really well and did a really good job.
Well, I know it's I'm going to throw one at you because I was really impressed by it. And it's on film, so it's not a surprise. I've never seen a receiver used as what you did with him in motion. You always see that kind of thing for a running back to get, and so who came up with that, and how long have you had that in the kind of arsenal, and to pull it out right there to use that?
We've been working on that for a couple of weeks. We really didn't. I think we probably put it in about 2 weeks before Midwest City. It's just another play that, try to get one of our playmakers the ball and get Josh in motion, and they see him going one way and then come back the other way, just a little misdirection.
Well, and maybe there's a surprise. Maybe you bait that up to do and then do something else out of that. So it's always a cat and mouse thing of trying. I've never seen a counter used with a wide receiver, and I thought, wow. I said that was something new. So, like I said, it's on film. They have to prepare for it, or rep for anything else that you have a combination for it. Okay, so let's talk about these three great gentlemen that you have here. I got to watch them all year, and you've got a fullback and two running backs, and we have nicknames for them only because Tony has nicknamed him. My color commentator. Whether they have knuckles or like the Detroit Lions have a 1-2 punch, but you have a 1-2-3 punch. You've got a fullback who rushed for his second touchdown the other day, Fernandez, and then you've got Josiah, and then you got the water bug with Connor Claiborne. So talk a little bit about how great it is to have a stable of running backs, not just one running back that you can count on.
Yeah, it makes my job easy. I really don't. I don't have to tell them a lot what to do. They they do a really good job, and they all really work very hard, at practice. So having a stable is big. I mean, they get to stay fresh, and they all, they don't have a lot of jealousy. They're all really, work together, and a couple of them goes in, gets 4 or 5 plays, gets tired, the next one come in. So Connor and Jaw, and even Prince. I mean, we got the freshman.
Yeah.
It's going to be
that's
really
that
good.
loaded package when you get to the goal line stand, and you have really a plethora of having 4 people to come at your disposal.
Yep, so having those guys that, just being extra to stay fresh and to do what they do, and I just try to stay out of their way.
Well, I'm a Lions fan. Most people know that I am, and Jahmyr Gibbs last night, of course, had an incredible game, but not really as – is afterwards unselfishness. I want to bring up to the fact that when Coach gave 3 game balls away, Jahmyr Gibbs got one, and he immediately went over to Penei Sewell, which is the tackle, and handed him the game ball, because a lot of these running backs will know they don't get to do what they do without starting up front. And show that appreciation, to show the unselfishness and the teamwork, that's got to bid well with these guys too.
Yep, they always, take care of their linemen, and those guys do a really good job. Coach Filo does a good job with those guys, and makes running the ball really well.
Well, let's talk about whether it's matchups, or how do you decide script-wise when you've got Josiah as senior and you got Connor as the junior, and Connor as you had to start out with, of who gets to start out, and then how does that balance between – like I said, being a Lions fan, I kind of know it's by series. If I know Jahmyr Gibbs is in, I know the next series is going to go to, and it kind of keeps them healthier and a lot fresher for 4 quarters. How do you guys decide who gets to start, who gets to do that, and how that gets set up?
The way we started off is just basically kind of my deal on who I think, and the way we sub it is basically up to me too. So when I see, if he's getting tired or whatever,
someone's got the hot hand. I think last night, I think that nothing against Montgomery. I think it's just that Jahmyr was his night, and you just say, okay, we're going to ride with that.
Yeah, and we rotate. And most of the time, I don't have to tell them. They do a really good job of he runs 3 or 4 times. They kind of, even last year with Marquise and these 3 guys, they go 3 or 4 plays after 3 or 4 runs. They know, hey, somebody's coming in, and they come off and try to keep moving, play at a fast pace, and it keeps those guys fresh for 4 quarters and makes them really hard to tackle. That's why you see these guys breaking a lot of tackles, because defense playing every play, and 3 or 4 plays, and now you got somebody fresh coming in running at you too. So they break a lot of tackles that way.
Well, we'll talk about the breakdown with Newcastle coming up after we talk to our players. But anything that you can see going forward these last couple of district games to really kind of get fine-tuned in that coaches are never really satisfied. You can't be, otherwise you wouldn't be a coach. Yeah. So how would you like to get a little bit better at what the running backs are doing, or what you'd like to see them get better at?
Just some things that we saw in Midwest City and the way they were playing us. I thought we could have read our blocks a little bit better and followed our, followed our blockers, followed our pullers. The first series, that's why Connor came out. That's why we subbed. He was hitting it up inside, which that's what we preach all the time. But the way the defense was playing, I wanted it to bounce a little bit. So I sent Jaw in, and we got the score. So, but they always do a great job, and they do what I coach them to during the week. But it don't always work out that way in the game. So
you already have that nickname. So how did he get that, Jaw? How did he get that?
I don't know. He came with that name.
He came?
Yeah.
you grab the mic and give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
Josiah Thomas. I play running back, and I'm a senior.
A senior, okay. And I know that you've been nicknamed in the booth by the Train. It's Thomas the Train. And I know that I said, well, maybe he'll take offense to that because, you probably grew up with, in your childhood of knowing about a Thomas the Train animation thing. I said, well, it's not really a kid's thing, but, it kind of matched. And you are a train, a load to kind of bring down. Kind of that's what he brings. What kind of style between you and Connor that you bring that's different between the two of you?
I feel like Connor just gets in I don't know. He just does what he does. And,
sometimes he impresses all of us, right? How did he make that cutback move? Has he talked to you of because when you look at him, size-wise, and we talked about this, he's not this big, huge bruiser, but he's coming almost like a freight train. And I've seen, and we've got highlights of him trucking 2 players, and I'm thinking the breakdown, the defenders there, okay, I got this guy, and then they just get trucked. Has he kind of given you any insight of how to do that?
Yeah, yeah. He's just a hard runner, so works hard in the weight room too. So,
how would you like to get better going forward for these last district games?
I feel like I should just be faster, run faster, and do better.
Talk about this game specifically. Newcastle came in. You're a senior. I know the seniors kind of helped pick the motto, and the motto was kind of, get back to what MacArthur was used to having, which was district champions. Not being third. And I don't have to review this for you. This was your sophomore year, your junior year, now your senior year. The last 2 years, finishing third in the district and having to go on a road test to go take on a number 2 in that other district. So, what does this game mean specifically for you against Newcastle?
It means a lot because they beat us last year and we was having a real good year. So if we beat them this year, we could possibly get number 1.
All right, so it starts with that, because, we're going to have the district standings up here in a second when Coach gets back on and talk about, it's a 3-way tie for first place. This is going to be Separation Friday because you have 3 undefeated teams in the district with maximum points. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Same with the 5A2 district as well, where you have Carl Albert, Altus, and Guthrie, all 3 undefeated teams. And so the separation starts this week. So good luck to you on the road. On Thursday, by the way, they told you they upped that up. So are you excited that – you guys are used to playing Thursday games. You're going to play Thursday next week as well. So it's kind of like almost your day to play.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's pass it down. Do you kind of – are you okay with the water bug? I mean, I don't know.
I'm cool with the water bug.
Okay.
I like the nickname.
Well, because the thing is you skate through the defenders so well. And what kind of gives you that vision? Because, if you use a water bug on the water, they're really light up on the top edge, but they can really shift and move at a moment's notice. And that kind of – talks about your style. Is it something that you worked at? Is it natural ability? How did you come up with that kind of style?
Yeah, you have to have a good line to be a good running back, and so I just got to stay patient and trust those guys to get their blocks up front, and they make the magic happen for me. So, I just have to make sure they get their guys.
Now I got to tell the other two because you got to do this because I asked Josiah's yards and you kept up with yours and we're connected on X, and so as soon as you posted stuff, I already know that you already have 1,000 yards rushing. Way to go as a junior. That's when you have to compare that you're having to share. And it was like I talked with Coach. There was a couple of games that you didn't even get to play the second half. You get pulled and you don't even get to play those quarters. So you shave off, okay, well, I'm sharing time. I'm still getting 1,000 yards, sharing time with somebody else unselfishly and doing that. How has this junior year been for you?
It's going great. I'm having a great season statistically. The team's doing really well. All the guys are getting their share of the football too, and so that's a really good thing that the workload is spread out between all of us and making plays. And the district play is going great. I think we're having a great season right now. And me personally, I think all the work that I've put in this off season has really paid off from my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Not playing a whole bunch, and then the way I play now is just a big change into my play style.
How excited do you get when the secondary and you got a guy, like I said, you've trucked over 2 people, and you don't look like that kind of running back. Just, coming off the bus, you'd say, oh, yeah, what's he going to bring? And, you've lowered it on people. Do you kind of anticipate that and are excited to take on that one-on-one match in the secondary?
Yeah, I love when I see a safety right in front of me. I'm going to run him over. I can't play scared with my size.
Right.
So I got to know I'm one of the best out here. I am a playmaker, and I can make plays happen. So that's just the mindset I have.
You certainly have turned heads with that, and so we appreciate your running style as well. How would you like to improve going forward since you are a junior and you can come back to your senior year?
Details. It's all in the tiny details, and especially recovery. After a game, I'm tiny, I'm banged up, and it's all the things I do outside of practice that I need to work on. Whether, that's not like eating sweets or getting my rest, good sleep schedule, good eating habits, I need to make sure my body is fully prepared for the next week.
Well, you brought up your size. What is your weight?
My weight is 165.
165. All right. So, all right. Well, that's you've definitely the eye test is one thing. Someone you come off the bus and you can't really judge on that, and you've really turned a lot of heads with that. Well, congratulations, Newcastle game. What does it mean to you? Try to go in their place to get a win on a Thursday.
Yeah. Me personally, I really want this win. I think our team has a chance to go far this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to seize every opportunity I get whenever I get the ball. This game means a lot to me, even though I didn't play at all in this game last year.
Right.
But I saw what they did to our guys last year, and I'm ready to get some revenge.
Yeah, okay, all right. And we got one more on the slate there. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Brady Fernandez. I play a tight end, what we call a pipe, and I'm a junior.
Okay, all right. You got a second touchdown in the end zone. I said, was that your first? Because I couldn't remember. And they said, I think it was Lawton High. And I said, oh, man, that was so long ago. I can't even remember that game, So it's kind of like, what was it like reaching in the end zone for that?
Well, the first time was definitely felt like surreal. My first varsity touchdown.
Yeah.
Just running. You're just running like, oh, my gosh. And you finally get it like, ain't no way. And the second time, I was really ready for it. I was like, I hope I score this game. And they give me the ball. I get in the end zone. I'm just so hyped. I'm just stopping my feet. I don't know what to do. I'm practicing celebrations before the game. I don't do any of it. I'm just too hyped. But, yeah.
At least you're honest there. You kind of get that fullback role as far as lead block, for a lot of these guys. And that's very important. But, talk a little bit about that role that you have to play for this team.
It's definitely, I would say, a big role. I definitely have to put all my effort into it. It's not anything that you can just slack around in. And if I do, it definitely shows. So it's definitely something that even I say as a lineman too, you have to stick to your job or else in quarterback sack or running back gets tackled. So I feel like for me, that's definitely something that I like to be, presented with. I like that challenge of every play, I have to do my best and make sure I get all my effort in.
All right, well, I'm going to send it back to Coach right here with Colby. And, I put the district standings up here, and you kind of see right here of the shakedown of what I say, the separation of Friday, separation Thursday as we'll call it. You got Bishop, McGinnis, MacArthur, and Newcastle all tied for first place in the district. They're undefeated. If you'll see over the district points with 45, that's the maximum you can get. As we talk about this from week to week to get fans, because I was watching the Duncan game in Bishop McGinnis, and they only had 11 with 18 seconds left to go. And I said, they're going to throw it. They're going to get in that end zone if they can because they want those maximum 15 points. The game was already won. But you got to get these points. And the reason I put this up now so you can see it, if there's a three-way tie at the end of the regular season, they have to go by points. Because if each team was to beat the other, let's say Bishop McGinnis and MacArthur and Newcastle all split with 1-1-1, they'll only have one district loss. So what do? You got to go back to district points. And so that will be decided because you're going to have these teams play. And if you look on the other side, same thing, Carl Albert, Altus, and Guthrie. Then you have Lawton High right now still hanging in the fourth position. But those three, and two of them are going to be playing this week with Guthrie and Altus, so there'll be a little bit of separation. So what did you see on Newcastle breaking down film that you got to prepare for a battle on Thursday?
Yeah, Newcastle's a good team. I mean, they're huge up front on both sides of the ball. They got some really good skill players. Obviously, in the backfield, they got T.J. Bradford and another running back, Ben Rogers. Both really good running backs, and got to transfer in, playing quarterback that can throw the ball really well. And the receivers, they do a really good job. They're really diverse on offense with run and pass. Defense they're in the same defense they were last year, and they do a good job on defense. They're going to force you to throw the ball some and load the box. Is what they kind of did against us last year to try to stop the run, and I anticipate that this year with our run game. So we're going to have to do a good job up front. We're going to have to win some one-on-one battles on the outside, and I feel like with Josh and Adam we can do that. And I think it should be a good game. And the district points, like you said, these next 3 weeks are going to determine the playoffs.
That's right.
It could very easily, we beat them, lose to McGinnis beat, or whatever.
Right,
it could be at that three-way tie, and these points each week on how much you win or lose by is going to matter. And we're looking forward to it. We feel confident going into Newcastle, and it should be a great game.
Well, Coach Brickman is a well-disciplined team, and we saw that last year in that game right down to the wire, and they won in the last drive. So I think these seniors remember it. So that gets for a great emotional impacted game, and so we're looking forward to it.
Yep.
All right,
great game.
So we're going to take a timeout. Of course, we've got Cash. We've also got Walters in the house, and Lawton High will come in as well as our Coaches Show continues. As you're watching the Coaches Show live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on the Oklahoma Sports Network. right, back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, where you can join us each and every Tuesday. We hope you do, for our coaches show. Whether you want just a small little appetizer, they got great wings, by the way, and they got the big pretzel we talked about, or the barbecue. Whether you want the sausage, you want the pulled pork, you want the brisket. I think I'm going to do the spud tonight. I think I'm going to do the loaded baked potato. If they still have any left, they still have any left? Yes, he's giving me a nod. Okay, because sometimes they run out of that. And you got the German food left over if you'd like to have some of that fare. But I'm going to do the loaded baked potato and maybe some wings. So that's kind of what I'm kind of gearing for. Area cheese curds out there for some of the team members out here playing. And Walters Blue Devils kind of up next, and had a tough road with Minco. This is a team that, you beat last year. They kind of remembered it.
Yeah,
and
sure
so
did.
it's kind of like, you get these kind of rematches with that. But what was your takeaway from last week's game? Because you guys were still putting up points and still competing for 4 quarters.
Yeah, no, we gave it our best fight, but Minco, man, they're a really good team. They've got an awesome program over there. So we saw a lot of good things out of our kids. We had some kids that were out, they're coming back this week, and we had a lot of fight and saw a lot of good things that we're going to try to build on for a very, very winnable game this week against Stratford.
Well, Coach K joins us from the Walters Blue Devils, and you kind of been on the program before. We kind of talked about the evolving team this is, because not only do you have a lot of youngsters, because you had a lot to graduate last year. I think it's 17.
Yeah, 17 or 18.
17 or 18 graduating. And then you had not only young kids, but you had kids that never played football in a long time.
Yeah, several.
And you're kind of having to bring them up to speed. So how have they evolved? Because you're going to grow. You're going to mature throughout the season. Give us kind of an evaluation of kind of where they were to start to where they are now.
You had a lot of these kids that, either haven't played before or haven't, or just young, that when you start talking to them week one, they look at you like you're speaking Spanish. And now you can go and, just coachability has come a long way for these kids. And now they're asking questions. And, it's been a lot of growing this year. And, it will pay off. And sometimes the grand scheme of the program isn't just defined between 10 games, but it's stuff that you're growing over the whole, over legacies and stuff
well,
like
I
that.
think so. We talked about that with Coach Griffin, wanting to institute, a youth program again.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't had for several years.
Yeah.
And it's definitely starting to see.
And that helps build a program. You get them connected, and, Coach gets to know them, gets to know the program. And then, I quote all the successful programs. Like if you want to take Clinton, for example, when they were winning a lot of state champions, Clinton always started young, and they always had – Altus does it kind of the same way. They start them young with their youth.
Bixby has a very prominent –
and look what they've done.
Yeah, they're pretty much gold standard of national football. They're ranked number one in the nation right here.
You're right. Okay, well, we'll kind of hold off about what you think about Stratford and your keys to the game. We'll get some of their players. So grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play in. We'll start with you. Go ahead.
I'm Jackson Kelly. I am, what'd you say, grade? I'm a sophomore in high school, and I play center.
Okay, no, hold on a second. We'll pass in a second. What's with the cowboy hat? It's your style?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
I wear it everywhere.
You wear it's where you go, huh?
Yes,
all right, so tell us a little bit about this season, how it's been, and are you one of those that had minimal experience coming in, or you had some and you're just trying to build on it?
I've been playing for 2 years now. I started in 8th grade.
Okay.
And I kind of know what I've been doing, but started this season, like you said, we lost a whole bunch of guys last year, so but we have a lot of new guys, so we kind of had to restart. And
how would you like to get better at what you do personally for the team?
I'm a sophomore, so
I know you have room for improvement. So how would you like to improve? Coming back next year, what would you get better at? Was it strength? Is it speed? Is it technique? What areas do you think you personally have to grow in?
I feel like I need to get a whole lot stronger because being center, I had to face a whole bunch of seniors.
You do, especially at nose guard. Where they come, their whole thing is to crash into your life real quick.
Sir.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? My dad makes a pretty good lamb chop.
So. Really?
Yes,
wow.
sir.
I only see Outback is the only one that I see on a menu where you can get lamb chops there. Okay, what do you like to do when you're not playing football, some of your hobbies?
My main hobby is I've been keeping goldfish for about a year now.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Any specific kind? I know there's different kinds of goldfish.
I keep more of the fancier type.
Okay.
I'm getting more into that.
All right.
So,
what turned you on to that?
About 2 years ago, my sister, we fish a bunch, and my sister wanted to keep some minnows that we had left over, and she didn't really care to keep them, so that was my job.
Okay.
And then I kept perch, and then we bought goldfish for the algae control, and I figured out those were a whole lot more fun.
I didn't even know that about them.
We'll see. You learn something every new. Okay, all right. And what's your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, favorite subject? Well, the lineman part of me says lunch, but
all right, I like that. I always get the best answer.
I like history.
History.
That's my favorite.
All right. Got another player next to you. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
I'm Asher Philpott. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I am a guard.
Okay, so guard and center, you guys have a good talking relationship, right?
Yes, sir.
You kind of have the, you're the hogs, or you're the battle tested guys that don't really get a lot of the exposure. You don't get the Friday Night Light headlines, with touchdowns and stuff like that. But it all starts in the trenches. So, what's it like for you to be there, a guard there on Walters?
It's definitely something you got to get better at.
Yeah.
No matter who you're playing, you got to try your best, because if you fail, everybody else is going to get hurt because of it.
And you got a lot of physical teams that you guys play too.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just like, you can say what class you're in, but I've seen some of the physical style, football that's played there. It's kind of in the trenches because more run, more of a running attack. Some teams like to pass, but what's the season been like for you? I know as a sophomore you got some more games to look at, but how has this ride been so far?
It's been challenging. I've never played before, so
okay. So you're one in those categories, yeah.
I've
what have you learned the most if you've never played before?
You gotta get good leverage, and you gotta get low. You gotta just always give your best effort, no matter what we're doing. Even if we're down.
Coming from a lineman's stance that I understand, and I had sons that I worked with, that a low man wins, that leverage thing. And I think it's so hard because naturally your tendency is, if you're down in a prone position, is to stand up.
Yes, sir.
And you stand up, you're going to be walked backwards, And so to stay low from already a low position, to stay in that is the challenge. So, you keep working on that, but leverage, will always outdo. It doesn't matter how big they are. If you can get underneath them, I'm sure Coach K has probably, tackled you on that, assigned that with you. Low man wins. How many times have you heard that? You probably heard it in your sleep. But what's your favorite food?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas. Where's the best place to get them?
My grandma's house.
All right. Okay. Grandma. Kudos to Grandma. Okay. And how excited are you to get into this game about Stratford? Coach says another winnable game on the schedule. So, you're not winless. You got that win out there. So that's not on your back. But what about this game coming up?
I'm excited. I'm ready to play.
Okay. Coach K, we're going to give you X's and O's of what you feel you guys have to do to get a win this week.
One big thing, and I think the last time we talked when I was up here is, I feel like our tackling, just being a little bit more aggressive in the, hitting our tackling stations better. And Coach Griffin always preaches to them, grab hamstrings. And that's one thing that I feel like as a team we haven't done the best of this year is, like I said, the low man wins. And, it comes with a lot of new kids. They don't understand that. And it's easy to preach it and stuff, but you get out there full speed game. I mean, it's a lot of muscle memory. So stuff like that, and just overall physicality. We've got athletes, but I just feel like we hadn't really tapped into our full potential as with physicality.
Building on the program and getting better each and every week. That's the whole premise behind that 10 week.
Teams like this, they come out next year, they could. People are like, well, where have these guys been? Well, they were here last year.
Yeah, just you didn't know them. Yeah, like we did. All right. Okay, Walters, Blue Devils, so far I understand you have not changed. As we said in the very beginning of the broadcast, almost
I text my principal, and he never texts me back. So
okay.
This change, it's not on me.
We'll change it. But, for right now, Walters will remain Friday. But of the 13 schools, I think only 5 remain on Friday. Everybody else has moved to Thursday night. So check your local
excuse not to come watch us.
Yeah, that's right. So check your local listings, which means us on social media will kind of tell you who's doing what and where with these last-minute changes with the weather concerns that they have for Friday with some severe weather. We'll take a time out. We'll be back to the Coaches Show here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We've got Cash in the house. They're up next, and the Lawton High Wolverines. We'll do that right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. right, Coach's Show back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street, Cash Bulldogs. And filling in for Coach Tanner Thompson, we've got on the defensive side of things. Introduce yourself, give us your name, and what connects you to the Cash Bulldogs. This is your first year, you're telling me, so tell us a little bit about how all this came together.
Yeah, so my name is Coach Josh Poway. I'm from Cash, grew up there, got to play for Coach Thompson in high school and Coach Griffin, so I think it's really good to be back home to my roots, helping out the kids that kind of grew up in Cash as well. Coached defensive line last year, only coached wrestling and track and field, so now I decided to help out with football this year. I get to coach with my old defensive line coach that coached me in high school, so it's really a good blessing to be a part of that.
Yeah.
The director of sports performance, so I get the opportunity to run the weight room all day. Been training since June, so yeah, super excited to be back to my roots and helping out the kids that I once read books to, as a senior and junior in high school. So
that's really cool. Well, tell us a little bit about how this season's been. It's been kind of a rocky road of kind of a nature of two halves, as we'd say. Is if you guys were just graded on the first half of football, you guys would almost be undefeated. I mean, you really kind of had that, and then adjustments were made, and then you kind of didn't really kind of come back with that. So how else would you describe this year's season?
I think it's been, for me, it's honestly been impressive how this season's gone with the way the kids' attitudes have been. Consistently coming in and continuing to work regardless of the circumstances. Even though we don't have the best record, what I do think is we have a lot of heart and a lot of grit and a lot of things that these guys are going to be able to use in the real world and apply to their life. I think that's been the best part of the season, regardless of how the schedule looks and the record. So.
Well, we mentioned that you guys moved to Thursday. This is also homecoming week, too. And so how much of a distraction is homecoming? Some coaches love it. Some coaches absolutely hate it because, there's so much. You got to do this, and they're a part of that, and then you're not focused on what we've got a challenge with, Clinton coming in for a big district match. But Thursday, one distraction, homecoming. How do you guys put it all together?
I feel like it hasn't really been a big bother to us. We got some guys locked in on trying to win homecoming court and those type of things. But other than that, I feel like we've been really good in staying focused in what we're supposed to do, knowing that we have Clinton, and they're a very tough opponent, and they have good roots. So we just been preparing for that. The biggest thing is having to change the parade and having to switch practice around, and Coach Thompson has to send out all those messages. So
big distraction. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your position specifically, position coach. How would you like to get them more improved on what they're doing in what you're trying to get to convey to them?
I think the biggest thing with the defensive line is just continuing to put in that effort and continuing to put in that work. I think this whole year they've done a really good job of holding down the line of scrimmage and really kind of beating almost all of our opponents up front at the line of scrimmage. I think they've done a good job for that, opening up holes for a linebacker, making things easy for them to read. I just think that they really just got to put their nose to the grindstone this week and give all that they've got.
Okay, we're going to reserve what your keys to the game is for Clinton here in a minute. We'll get some of our players. So first one, grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
Garrett Graham, I'm a junior and running back and linebacker.
Okay, playing both ways. Is there one that you like and prefer over the other? If
probably
so, why?
Probably running back.
Okay, you like to touch the ball a lot, huh?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I really kind of throw wide receivers under the bus because they're the ones that campaign to quarterbacks more in the huddle, or out there is how much do you kind of say, okay, you got a play coming up, but how much do you tell your quarterback, hey, I got this right here. Can we convince coach to kind of give me the rock right here on this position?
Yeah, quite a bit. I give him an earful.
At least you're honest about it, though. It's like campaigning for it to get the ball one more time. Okay. How has this season been for you at running back?
It's been good and bad, but overall I think it's been mainly good.
Well, they spread the ball around a lot. Some of the highlight reels got, you got Sweat we had the last week, and he's able to come in. And so you got a tandem of kind of like when we talked to MacArthur earlier, you got a lot of weapons there that you can use at your disposal. Are you a little bit more unselfish with that? I know you talked about campaigning for it, but some of these guys are also going to get the ball?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are you in the homecoming court?
I am not, no.
Okay, all right. So you're not one of the distractions that coach is going to be upset about. Okay, all right. Playing Thursday, I know some of the other schools are used to it when they have to kind of play in fall break. We just got done with most people playing Thursday, so I guess it's really not that big of a deal that they've changed you?
No, it really doesn't bother me much, but I kind of like playing on Thursdays, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, Thursday night, Clinton, they've got a historical name, in this district, just like Elgin does, and you can say Weatherford, Elk City, all of these, but Clinton especially because of their tradition of long ago of winning state championships. And what does it mean to play them at your house?
I'm pretty pumped for it because I know they're a pretty solid team, and I just feel like if we come together, we can be pretty solid.
How would you like to get better at running back?
Work on my eyesight and run downhill as fast as I could.
When you say eyesight, more of vision, like cutback stuff kind of thing, seeing the field.
Yes, sir.
Quarterbacks will talk about how the game is slowed down for them a little bit, because you can get starry-eyed. You can get in there and say, okay, now what? And then when you get used to that, has the game kind of slowed down for you that you can kind of see these, because they open up and close very fast, as you well know. You get the ball and, it's there, and then all of a sudden it's not there, and I got to hit it hard. I mean, is that kind of that process helping you get – is the game slowed down for you to kind of see those a little bit more?
Yes, sir, it has.
Okay, all right. You got a guy right next to you. Give us your name, give us your grade, and what position you play.
My name is Cannon McCracken. I'm a junior, and I'm a receiver and linebacker.
Okay. How much coaching do you get at home?
A lot.
I only know the name, so I already knew what was going to happen. So you got a dad who wrestles. You got that program. You got all of that, and I know he's very passionate about what he does. And so I knew that when I talked to even with Sweat last week, I know that he's got a dad in a truck that as soon as you get in, great game. But here's what I can throw at you. So I always wondered that when they always get a little bit of coaching outside of how much that is, but. How would you like to improve to get better at what you do?
Just keeping an open mind. I get real frustrated on the field. Just making sure that, everybody, I'm not bringing anyone down.
What does it mean for you to be a Bulldog?
I mean, everything. I mean, I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
Put all the work in, all the effort.
What's your favorite food?
Probably some chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice. Where's the best place to get it? Not a clear-cut winner. You got a couple of favorites,
There's
huh?
a couple good ones. My mom makes pretty good ones.
Okay, always got to start with mom first, and then everything else comes second. Okay,
Always.
so all right, okay. What is your favorite subject in school?
History.
Any kind of history, like American history, world history?
American.
American history, okay. Any kind of section of it? Of American history, like early colonial, Civil War, World War II,
whatever, yeah.
Those early American history. Okay. And what do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Pickleball. We got a group of people. We go to the pickleball courts every night.
Really? Okay. So it's not an old school sport. I thought they created for people that couldn't play tennis anymore, and they were all older guys like us. They'd say, pickleball, I can play that. Tennis, no, I'm not getting on that court. So that's interesting. You kind of create a little pickleball competition amongst some of your other. Who's the best at playing pickleball?
Oh, me, for sure.
Okay, all right. I knew that was coming because video game players are the same way. If you ask who the best one is, it's always them.
Yeah, this guy over here, he's terrible.
Okay, is he? Is he not selected on your team? You want to go have him play for someone else?
Yeah, most of the time.
Well, at least he's being honest. Okay, hand him the microphone so he can get back at you here in a second. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Tegan Stidham. I play D-line and fullback.
Okay, so what's this season been like? It's like it's been kind of you had different kind of ups and downs with this season. You kind of had great starts, first half of football. You kind of had to readjust. You got a couple of good wins there. So what else can you talk about with this team and this year?
Well, I mean, like you said, we've had a rocky road from the start. I mean, with having new coaches and everything else, Coach Thompson only having a year under his belt, so he's still trying to learn. But, I mean, overall, I think all of our coaches have done good, and I think the players have stayed loyal to it.
Okay. Are you a good pickleball player?
I don't know what this guy's talking about, but I'm better than him.
Okay. All right. Actually, are you on the homecoming court?
No, sir.
Is he on the homecoming court?
No, sir.
No, three of them. Okay, good. You're not a coach's distraction this week, so you're going to be on their good side. Okay. What does it mean to play Clinton on Thursday?
I think it's a really good shot, for all of us, and I think we have a really good chance at beating them, but what it means to me specifically is very much like a lot, because that's the first game that I started like a varsity snapping back my freshman year, so this means a whole bunch to me.
Okay, well, a little bit of history there. Coach, we're going to get back to you and end with you as far as X's and O's and your keys to the game about beating the Clinton Red Tornadoes on Thursday.
So we've made a lot of adjustments on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I think the biggest thing for us is just to go out there and execute. Clinton, like we've discussed, is a really good team, rooted in tradition, has a great foundation. Again, they have a really good guy he's a big tool for them. Number 1, they spread him all over the field, utilize him all night. Number 7's a pretty good quarterback. So I believe if we shut them guys down defensively, we're gonna have a really good shot at this game. And if we could get our offense going, use the adjustments we've made, I think we're going to have a really good chance of going out there and winning on Thursday night. So.
All right, so Thursday night it is. Remember, we got a lot of games that have switched to Thursday night, including the Cash Bulldogs against the Clinton Red Tornadoes. Well, we got the Lawton High Wolverines, and they are up next, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, as we continue with the Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery at Southwest 2nd Street, 104 Southwest 2nd Street. Is Coach Joe getting the headset on, and you were multitasking. I don't know. We're not really great multitaskers. Don't buy in the lie that we can do 2 or 3 things at one time, because we can't,
Now, listen, I'm going to tell my wife every single time she asks me, I can definitely multitask, but the truth is she knows the truth. I can't.
Speaking of which, last week it was her birthday. You wished her happy birthday.
I did,
and you learned the lesson that we all say, that only the first year when you say, don't get me anything, didn't really mean that.
Right.
So you surprised her with what? You got her something?
Yeah, I got her. I mean, I usually do a pretty good job of doing some good things.
Okay.
So I got her. She turned 40. So I got her like.
He said that, not me.
Right,
I don't tell a lady's age. All right, go ahead.
We're getting old. That's all there is to it. We're blessed to be old, right? It's kind of
right.
But I got her. She got 40 roses, 40 chocolate-covered strawberries.
Oh wow!
I got her a little clock.
You didn't do black roses though, did you?
No,
over the hill stuff.
No.
You didn't do any of that.
No,
okay.
not.
Good
we
man.
We ain't there yet. Still got a couple years there. She really likes like pink stuff, so I just got like some decorations and stuff like that. She's really surprised. She liked it a bunch. So now the trick is, the reason why I do these things for birthdays is because my birthday is Thursday. So like, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get some snacks.
Okay.
That's probably about it.
Quid pro quo, as far as like that. I give to you, you give to me.
Like I think Snoop Dogg said one time, when it's Mother's Day, every gift begins with K. Right? When it's Father's Day, yeah, you're going to get some Doritos and some chips.
Yeah, that's or Christmas, you get socks, you get underwear, you get all that stuff that,
Yeah.
Well, but I'm thankful for it, because it's really the only time I get it, and I wouldn't shop for it. No. So you took care of a need, is the way I say.
Right. That's the wifely way to do it. This is what you need. So
okay. Good, yeah. All right. One thing I was going to ask you, I'm not asking you all season long. You used to have a routine with the players with a movie night before a game. You guys still kind of doing something like that?
No, I go to the movies.
Oh, you go to the movies, not the team.
No,
okay. Do you still do that?
I've been doing since I was 14 years old.
Okay. So what movie did you hit up last week, and what movie are you hitting up for this week?
This is the thing. The movie theaters close at like 8 o'clock here.
Okay.
And I can't really ever make it to a
movie
because I can't get there fast enough from Team Mills. So I'm kind of like, it's throwing me off a little bit. So I need the AMC people to just do me a solid here.
Okay.
Give me like a 10 o'clock movie every once in a
while. Right.
On Thursdays. You don't have to do nothing else. Before the game, I need a 10 o'clock movie. So
yeah, I'll have to be on Wednesday because we moved you to Thursday.
Yeah. I mean, like we needed one less day to get ready for Carl Albert, so
Well, I understand. We're going to break that down here in a second. But, coming away with an El Reno game, it was back and forth. I wasn't able to watch it completely. What's so nice is that we're inside the booth doing a game. We can also have another game up. Your game was up, and we were kind of following it. Man, it was just back and forth. Yep. You broke down film. How would you describe that insane game? Huh?
Just a little lemony snicket. It's a tale of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
At times. We play really well at times. We play really bad at times. It's pretty much where we're at right now as a team. It's kind of on me to try to figure out how to get us better from that. We got a lot of young kids playing. So when you have young kids playing, you're going to have a lot of waves. There's going to be a lot of highs. There's going to be a lot of lows. So fortunately, unfortunately, sometimes we ended up on the wrong side of the highs and lows type deal. You know what I mean? So El Reno played a great game. They're a really, really physical football team. We played pretty physical, but, the mistakes we couldn't overcome, wasn't lined up right. Turned the ball over 4 times. We got a couple special teams mishaps. Whenever you turn the ball over 6 times in a game, you probably don't have a chance to win that thing. But even with all that, having a chance to win it at the end, we got to make one play, and we didn't make it. They did. So it's kind of where it's at.
Well, you talked about in the beginning of the season, you played some really tough, your schedule of, hey, let's just go play these kind of teams, caliber teams to get us ready. So they're not going to be big-eyed when you play this last stretch of games because you've got some games on the side of the district, and we're going to pull that up here to kind of show what you're in is, right now in the 4th position because Noble and El Reno, who you both lost to, are still at 1-3. You got one extra win right now, but the separation Thursday, separation Friday is going to start this week because Altus will play Guthrie first and foremost. So one of them is going to get a loss, but you're going to still have to play your remaining 3, Carl Albert, Guthrie, and Altus. So talk a little bit about that.
Next question. I don't know.
It's okay. I understand.
No, we, like you said, I feel like we're going to go get our best shot. That's one thing about, like I said, these kids keep showing up. They keep working hard. Whenever you got guys that do that, you got a shot. So it's just the mistakes that we're making right now are so big that we got to figure out how to minimize those and make it a game. I think that's where we at right now. The Noble and El Reno lost both. 4+ turnovers, special teams mistakes.
You lost your quarterback in the Noble game.
Lost the quarterback in the Noble game. Yeah. So the young guy goes in there and does what young guys do.
He's a freshman. That's right.
Yeah. I talked to him. He was very upset after the game. I'm like, hey, man, listen, as a freshman quarterback, I'm expecting you to go out there and mess up.
Right.
I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now let's just get better. Let's not make the same mistakes. And as through the JV time, he's gotten so much better, doing so many great things with the football and so many great things with being able to check protections now at the line. It's stuff that he would not have to learn this fast if he wasn't in that role. So I'm so proud of him, and his growth as a quarterback. The varsity guy didn't play quarterback last year either. So we kind of going with a lot of things here. So we got to be able to just minimize mistakes in big games, which is what we're coming down to now with the 3 biggest games of the year, and it's one at a time. We got the toughest one. Every week is going to be a different challenge. This week it's Carl Albert. They 58-game winning streak or something like that, and one of the best teams in the state ever type thing. You know what I mean? And then next week we got to go play a really, really hot Altus team who's throwing the ball 90 times a game and looking like Texas Tech out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Texas Tech from Grand
and that's very unfamiliar with Altus because it was always the flex bone and run, right. and now it's like throw.
I'll tell you a funny story next week about that whole situation. That's me and Coach Reed are really good friends. So I got a great story about that. I'll say that for next week, though.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
And we got Guthrie, so that's a whole nother
sandwich between those 3.
Another big physical football team. The guys are going to run the ball and do great things with it. So we just got to play our game. We got to figure out what we're good at, what we're not good at, and then let's go attack it.
All right, let's save the X's and O's about what you have to do against Carl Albert. We've got a player in the house, so give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Israel Moore. I'm a sophomore, and I play tight end.
Okay, so what's the season been like in the position you play? And like Coach says, he's explaining about, some of these dips, these highs and lows, and you're a sophomore. You can't, rely on, years of experience. How are you able to take those highs and lows in games like these?
If I'm being completely honest, you just got to take it in a way. There's highs and lows, but on the same token, you're not always going to win. There's going to be losses that come up, but just got to know how to deal with it.
How would you like to get better at tight end?
Very much, actually. I need to improve on strength, physicality, speed, just everything.
Well, and good that you're a sophomore. You got room to do that. So it's not like your senior year asking for things that you need to improve on. What's it like to play Carl Albert? And we talked about this with Coach. He kind of baptized you with a lot of experience with some big teams, before you started the season. And that's the time you could get big-eyed. So you've already played guys like that. So what does it mean when Carl Albert comes into town?
Like pretty good competition, like really good game. Because when we went to go play these bigger teams, you're going to be nervous, possibly even scared. But if you go against it now, you don't have to worry about being nervous or scared later.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Definitely some jambalaya.
Oh, and where's the best to get it at?
My mom's house.
Okay, all right. That's always a good answer. Okay. And what does it mean for you to be a Wolverine?
Everything. Absolutely everything.
Yep.
I wouldn't pick any other team.
And what's your favorite subject in school?
Math. I'm a math kid.
Are you really? Wow, I was not. I struggled with math, so I'm glad someone else can excel at that. And then what do you like to do in your free time when you're not playing football?
I like to listen to music. I like to draw. Like just get out of the house, go like hiking, just
your top playlist. Give us your top 3 artists and songs that are in your playlist right now. I'm a music guy. I've got over 1,100 on my. I will say how old I am. An iPod.
Right.
I still use my iPod. Go ahead.
I definitely like listening to R&B. So like Bryson Tiller, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah. Coach is nodding. He can hook up with you. He can understand it. You guys can speak the same language in music. All right, that's good.
But yeah, Bryson Tiller, Mary J. Blige.
Give me somebody good. Give me one more good one.
Beyonce every now and then. Aaliyah.
Oh, you're disappointed. You're hitting him out of the park.
All right, I got you.
Okay, all right. It's okay.
But yeah, that's
okay. Well, good luck on Thursday against the Carl Albert Titans. They're coming to town. This isn't homecoming for you guys, is it?
No. We had our homecoming against Western Heights.
Okay, we had 2 homecomings already that, they moved to Thursday as Cash and Elgin, already having that kind of late in the year. Carl Albert Titans on a Thursday, ready or not, here they come. What is your keys to the game?
Man, it's real simple, man. I mean, that's why I told the kids, like, the one thing about these guys is they're not going to beat themselves, so we got to go beat them if we want to beat them. And how we do that is we got to be really good in the kicking game. We got to have, can't turn the ball over. We got to create some takeaways. We got to be really good on third down and keeping the chains moving. We got to get them off the field, and I mean it's pretty much all the measured probabilities. You know what I mean? So it's in the penalties got to get better. And that's one thing I think that we've kind of got a little bit better at that, but now it's just at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have so many last week, which is great. I think we only had 8. You know what I mean? Only 8. That's kind of a standard though. 1 for every 30 plays you're playing. So we only had 8, but it was the wrong time 8 type thing. You know what I mean? So.
Drive killers.
Yeah. Get in the red zone and penalty. You know what I mean? We had a very weird situation with a legal man downfield call. We got that ended up calling back a touchdown.
I saw that.
But it's kind of weird. I don't know if you saw that we got spotted 20 yards back from where. But anyway.
Well, I just know there was a lot of confusion. That's all I know. And I'm not blaming anybody, but you get in the game and you go, what is really going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, like I said, they're a good football team. Like I said, they're not going to beat themselves. Mike do a good job with that group. They got a really good coaching staff. The kids are really good players, even better because they do the right things. That's when you see a good football team on film. What does it look like? Well, guys not out of position. They make plays when they come to them. They run to the football. You know what I mean? On offense, they execute. Even if it's a good play or a bad play, the execution was right. You know what I mean? So for the most time, you keep doing things right, you got a chance to be really good. So that's why they're good. So we're going to try to disrupt that a little bit.
Okay, Coach Lorenzo Williams for the Lawton High Wolverines. We'll kind of wrap things up here at 2nd Street. Yes, it's the Southwest Oklahoma Brewery as our coaches show. We'll wrap up here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Don't forget, Halloween's coming up. They've got the adult Halloween, which is Halloween's on Friday, by the way, on the 31st. So you'll get that. And then trunk or treat for the kids on Saturday. Lots to do. They still have some leftover from Oktoberfest. If you want some German fare, come down here. Join us on the Coaches Show each and every Tuesday. We'd love to have you. The great barbecue that they have, it's all in-house, especially the habanero cheddar. That's my favorite. They've got the spud that I'm going to try tonight with the wings, great wings as well. So great sideline food if you want, and then great barbecue as well. And so you'll really be appreciative of that each and every Tuesday. Hey, don't forget, we got a lot of games that have moved to Thursday, so check your local listings. Check with us to see if your team has moved to Thursday. I think only all of the 13 schools, all but 5, have switched to Thursday. 5 are still holding out on Friday night because it possibly was some severe weather and storms and lightning and possible delays with that. Hey, download our free app on your mobile device, on Apple and Android devices, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for those who are watching on YouTube right now, and Facebook. Give us a like there, give us a follow, and then you can follow us on Instagram and X. We'll see most of you on Thursday night, some of you on Friday, and we'll be back here next Tuesday for sure for the Coaches Show at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. I want to thank all our coaches and players for being here. You've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network. You have a great and safe night.